How's it going, everyone? Welcome to another one. This video is a little different. I'll be answering most of the questions that I've got in the past few months of traveling Australia. The main one being answering how I'm traveling at 18 by myself and how anyone can do it by themselves at any age. While I'm doing that, I will be going for a hike and answering the questions, so I'll be hiking somewhere over there. Let's get to it. Alright everyone, so the hike pathway is closed due to a fire. You can see all the burnt bushes here. Now there is a small track leading down to that beach. So we're going to go down this small track. It will only take a few minutes. Sounds all muddy. Wouldn't climb down this on a rainy day, that's for sure. Wet. Alright everyone, we have made it to the water's edge. The water is always very clear here. However, you can't swim in it because it is way too shallow. If you do want to swim in it, you have to go quite far out. The shore's all the way over there. Alright everyone, so the first question I generally always get asked is why I'm traveling Australia. Many people my age are in uni or they're working as an apprentice, or I don't know what they're all doing, but they're all either studying or working. And here I am outdoors. I never really liked school. Even apprenticeships have to do tastes, so that was not something for me. However, I've always loved the outdoors. If there's any kind of job in TAFE that I would study, it would be something where I could be outdoors. But that can wait till I've finished my travelling. I'd seen so many people travelling Australia in their 20s and all that, and I just thought to myself, why not travel at 18? Instead of doing apprenticeships, instead of doing uni, I decided to leave the 9 to 5 and I decided to travel Australia. Why wouldn't you want to travel Australia? Instead of being in a class, you could be looking at this. Living the dream, buddy. That's what you should be doing. Everyone's different, I know that, but this is my life that I chose. It couldn't get any better than this, mate. Living the dream, apart from that, it is not a dream for me. It's a bloody reality. Now that brings us to the next question that has been asked so many times, and that is, how do I afford to travel Australia at only 18? You gotta work for it. Pretty much how I afford it is I travel and I work at the same time. So I've stopped in Albany for a few months and I'm working here as my handyman business. And then once I've got a few more $1,000, I'll leave Albany and then I'll head off to Adelaide and whatnot. I'll probably start working in Victoria again, maybe. Now the real question is how did I afford this BT50 at 18? I have been working since I was 12. At 12 years old, I was just doing a bunch of after-school gardening for a bunch of neighbours. I probably got about $8 to $10 an hour at 12, so that was quite good. For a 12-year-old, you'd probably get paid more as a 12-year-old if you were working nowadays, but yeah. When I was about 15, I started working for a carpenter. I did learn quite a bit of carpentry, construction and whatnot. When I was 16, I moved out of home. I lived at an ag college in Denmark. I was there for about a year and I was working on a dairy farm there, which is where I learned all my farming skills. So I'm quite good at farming. I'm quite hands-on with all of that stuff. That is also where I learned how to be a mechanic, how to do a bit more engineering. I already knew a bunch of engineering before it, but especially just took my skills of welding up a level pretty much. Once I was 17, I started my own business as a handyman. A few months after I started my business, I bought this car. So I've had this car for about a year and a few months. However, it wasn't my first car. I had a two-wheel drive Triton as my first car. But this is definitely the car that I've had for the most longest. It's the most reliable car I've had so far. Pretty much when I got my license, I was out of home. I was living in my car. So I've been living in this car for about a year now. I was in Albany for about 6 months last year, and now I'm back again. I honestly live it quite rough though. Like, I don't have a fridge or anything like that. So, I mean, if you're 18 and you don't have enough money, you probably can't afford a fridge and electricity and stuff if you've got a big four-wheel drive, but it is what it is. I never let not having enough money stop me from doing what I want to do. Like I said, I have no fridge, I have no electricity, because I can't afford any of that just yet. And hopefully, eventually, once I'm halfway around Australia, probably in Sydney or something, I'll be able to get a fridge and a dual battery setup and all that. Next question I get is how much I spend per week. Now, everyone is quite shocked about this, if I'm being honest with you. I only spend generally about 150 to 200 bucks per week. Now, obviously, that does depend how much I'm driving. At the moment in Albany, I'm only spending 50 bucks every fortnight for fuel. I reckon once I'm back out on the open road, I will be spending about 200 to 250 a week for fuel and food, etc. So it's quite good. You can definitely live traveling Australia quite cheap, but I reckon for a couple you could probably end up doing it for about 300 bucks a week, I reckon. I'd say it's about 100 bucks per person per week for food. But the couples who are spending 600 bucks a week, I can't afford that, but I want to save up instead. So you can definitely travel Australia at 18 at 150 bucks a week. It is doable. You would be living it quite rough. However, it is doable to be able to save up for a fridge. You can get quite cheap ones. I just haven't got to that just yet. Obviously, not everyone is fine with living it rough, but that's fine with me. If it's not fine with you, then you probably have to spend about 300 a week, but that's all good. This is a nice spot. How is this, mate? It's so clear. I might have to get the sup out here soon, I reckon. I don't have my sup board on me at the moment. It's stored at a mate's where all my other canopy stuff is stored. But I will get around to blowing up that sup and showing you how it goes. Another question I get a lot is my timeline. I do not have any timeline on traveling Australia. I reckon I'll get to Perth in my 20s and then I'll head off with the dog during that time. However long it takes, it'll take. I don't plan on stopping for quite a few years to get keen for it. I might end up hitting New Zealand after Australia as well. Right, everyone, I'm going to head off to the place where I'll be staying tonight. I'm not sure where I will be going, but I'll find out once I get to town. Once I'm there, I'll answer a few more questions that I haven't answered just yet. We'll see you there. Alright everyone, we are in Emu Point now. This is where we're staying for the night. The latest question that I've been getting is what I'm doing with my canopy. It's hard to explain what I'm really doing with it, but the reason why I'm doing it is because I want more of a stealthy kind of camping way. Like, you see all those vans out there and they just look like normal panel vans, and yeah, people sleep in them and the cops never bother them. So that's what I kind of want to go with. So some kind of stealthy sleeping canopy, but when it's not in stealth, you'll have like a rooftop tent canvas part that comes up. So once I post a video on how the thing's being made, you'll see it all. I'm not sure when it'll get done, but it'll probably be done in the next few weeks, and then you'll probably get the video in a month or so, I reckon. But it is looking good. This part up here where my supboard is where it lifts up. And yes, I've got my supboard on me now. Yeah, I just picked it up this afternoon. When the tent piece is up, I will be able to stand in my tray. So it'll be like a normal camper, pretty much. Apart from that, it's gonna be very unique, homemade by me. So it'll look a bit rough, but it'll work. Although it may look rough, it'll look sick as well. The last question I get a ton of times is, what do I eat for dinner and lunch and whatnot? I basically just eat tuna and noodles and all that kind of stuff. Since I don't have a fridge, I can't have meat. It's not from a can and whatnot. But I mean, I do buy sausages and bacon and stuff. I just have to eat it that night. But yeah, once I've got a fridge, I will be eating more bacon, more meat, which will be great. Either way, everyone, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I answered most of everyone's questions. God bless. I'll see you next week.